Right, hello YouTube. Welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Last time we launched a Minmus science mission to both put down a base station and gather various science experiments off the surface, and also bring back a green sandstone as a sample. We got quite a lot of science off of that, to say the least. Way more than I'd expected, actually. So this time, we need to decide what our next mission will be. And now, one of the things we were considering was going out to find a comet, an asteroid. The other thing, because of its massive payout, was bringing some tourists up to the hotel. I'm just thinking how many... What is the crew capacity of the California? I'm actually not sure if we could do that one, because I don't know we have enough space for the tourists. Do we have one to bring some tourists back? Oh, we do have one to have them visit an asteroid. Oh boy. I don't even know if that'll work, will it? It's not even called that anymore. Oh, maybe it's an old contract. Investors tour. Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if that means we can also launch the other thing. Let's have a grand tour. Which, oh boy, I do not think we're kitted out for that yet. But you notice the payout, 6 million or 7 million almost. Yeah, it's a big one. Right. So just looking at what we've got, so if there's anything specific, or whether we think we should be just picking something and doing it. So Minmus, the moon. Oh, bring a newly discovered Class A asteroid back to Earth. So we were considering doing asteroid. Class A are not necessarily the easiest. They are the lightest, but they also don't have a huge amount of material in them to mine. Although if we send our best engineers, because we found out they do improve the efficiency, I guess there might be enough. Well, we were considering an asteroid mission, so you know what? We'll take it. We'll go for it. Step 1, find a Class A asteroid. The classes are like the size. So a Class A is the smallest. It goes up to like Class J or something, I think, is the biggest. Let's just track a bunch of these ones that we've got here. Oh, we can't actually see the class before we track them. We'll track them all anyway. Class B, Class B, Class D. Class A, there we go. It is going to... We'll do a quick save. It is going to... Oh, we can't quick save in here. We're going to do a quick save. We'll track it until it's past Kerbin. Then that should leave it on a... just in a orbit around the sun. And then we'll try and chase it. You can do like an inset mission to catch him on the way past. I've never pulled one off, and it's one of these things that requires actual, like, genuine skill and knowledge of what you're doing. I believe this is the Class A? Class A, yes. I believe signal strength will go down over time, and you can eventually lose them. I think it's to stop them cluttering out the place too much. Looks like it's not too bad in terms of degradation, so we'll wait for it to enter the Kerbin system, go past. And okay, so it's asteroid. We'll write this down quickly. WYX. Okay, a bit easier to find. Well, WYX 765. That is our target. Only more than a few meters across, so it will be mineable, but there's not going to be much in there to mine. We might only get 1 or 2 tank refills off of it. So, we're going to build a nuclear tug to move this thing. We've also got some more science, because the iron... Oh, the iron collector was working. Hey, it's just deposited a full 500 science to us. It's got way more than we thought we would have. So, have we taken the mining upgrade yet? We have, okay. There are some more upgrades, including one that I believe is for scanning for ore. Which could be good given what we're doing, but then again, we're going to be mining the asteroid anyway. I believe they've always got ore. It's going to be a manned rocket. We might want... Are there any improved nuclear engines we can get right now? Not for a bit. Might be able to upgrade straight to the clock, which would be quite funny, actually, but... Yeah, we could afford one. How much science would it take to get to there? 1,500, 1,000, 500, no, not quite. But that could be an option, potentially. Nether ray engines? No, I think the Nerva is still our best bet for an engine. We could potentially take very heavy rocketry and get access to some bigger rocket engines, and maybe even some fuel tanks as well. Yeah, I think we'll do that. We'll upgrade our baseline a little bit. We'll have large volume containers to get some bigger fuel tanks. These are not too expensive. We might also take high volume tanks. No, probably don't need that big. Okay. We might do experimental science so we have the larger ore tanks, because we'll need at least an ore tank to refuel with, and the less time we have to spend rejiggering everything will be good. We have the clamps. They're not going to help us. Field science is not going to help us. Yeah, I think that's our best bet. We'll take that. Who's that one? Oh, that's the weirdly shaped lab. Ah, yes, the particle scoop. Now that is some sci-fi stuff up there. Right. I think that's everything we need for now. Advanced landing. We're going to take that anyway, because it'd be useful to have those large landing legs. It's not really related to this mission, but... and heat management we will actually take, because the drills get hot. We might as well spend all our science to take this as well. The drills do get hot. They do generate heat, and they will shut down if they overheat. And it's difficult to get rid of heat in space. So, we do not know exactly how much fuel we're going to need. So, I'm going to aim for us to have 4,000-ish Delta V once we're up in space already. So about 4,000 to get us, so about 8,000 total, 4,000 to get us up there. We will have a pilot and we will have an engineer to the drill. And it's going to need ore capacity. So we'll start with I think a pier station core is a reasonable bet. Tiny bit cramped perhaps, but they're going to have to live with that. First thing we'll want is something to grab the asteroid. That's where the advanced grabbing unit comes in. We might move it further up the craft, so it's not directly behind the crew cabin. It's a little bit risky, but we'll go for the yellow. Yes, that does exactly what you think it does. You bump it into an asteroid hard enough and it will dock into it. I think in front of that, we're going to need RCS. Might need a bit, actually, because docking asteroids could be a little bit interesting. Going to want to make that a bit pointy, so it'll actually ideally dig into the asteroid properly. I think we'll use that. Nope. The small one. Nope. That one? No. Come on, I know there's one. There it is. Metal. This gotta be rugged. This bit's gonna be tough. Right. We will have RCS thrusters. We're going to need fairly substantial ones because, again, this is going to be a bit of a heavy craft. It's going to be a bit more industrial than what we've built so far. This will be the... We'll name it as well while I'm thinking about it. Going for a name that I like going for my asteroid craft. This will be the R12 Rockhound. So, we've got that stuff. We will set this to be metal as well. Right, we might even add another adapter, perhaps. There's a flat profile adapter, right? Probably going to be putting some struts up around this thing anyway, but... Well, that would look quite good, but I think it's the wrong size. Yeah. It's further up, wasn't it? There we go, flat adapter. Can we change colour on that? No, that's fine. Right, so that's the front end. We will also need a set of... well, we'll need a fuel processor. We'll need something to power it, which is just something I've just thought of. So the convertitron's come in a few sizes. We'll probably go for a small one, because it's only a small asteroid. We don't want to make this craft too huge. If we were doing a bigger asteroid, I'd be perfectly happy to go up to a 2-meter refinery. So this requires 100 kilowatts of cooling, ideally. So we'll do that next. And this can also make us more RCS, so it can refill our monopropellant, but liquid fuel is the main thing we're going to be making. 600. Okay, so our radiators are actually potentially actually go for a different 8 kilowatts. Okay, so 8 kilowatts is not really enough. Those need. They will do 60. Oh, we could do a couple of these. Some heatsink style fins. Yeah, that'll do it. That should be more than enough. Okay, so that will radiate heat away from the rest of the craft. Power generation is the next thing, and we'll also want some big power storage. I'd be quite happy to... Yeah, we'll throw some batteries in that bit there. There we go. We'll have 2 of those. Right. I try to think, we need to check how much power we're going to need first. The other thing we need is drills. I guess we need to get everything on there first and then see how much we're actually going to need. We'll go for probably 2 large drills. I believe they're more efficient. Oh, asteroid use, 500% base efficiency. Let's say what the base efficiency is. What about these? 100%, yeah, so they are more efficient. They're also quite big, as you can see, compared to our little craft, but hey, that's what we're working with. We might have to rethink that setup, actually. Okay, now we'll put those in the middle. Oh, I know, we can maybe clip them in a little bit. Try to, like I say, try to make this thing look a bit nice. Look fairly nice, at least. There we go. And that should deploy... Yeah, that'll deploy plenty far enough to get into the asteroid. Ah, that's the sound. Okay. Yeah, these don't look like they quite work there, I suppose, but... I guess we could... It's not really ideal. Tell you what. We'll reconfigure the RCS a bit. We'll go... They're the ones that use mono. They do use monopropellant. Okay. Yeah, we probably want these. They're a bit stronger, I believe. Okay, that'll do for reverse thrust. And we'll have just 2 facing outwards. 5 blocks. Then we'll have 4 on these. I guess there, maybe? Is it not in the way of the fins? Is there a 3-way? There should be a 3-way form on one of these, right? I think. 3-horn, yeah, there we go. Yeah, that looks alright. And we'll put some others at the bottom to make sure we definitely got full coverage in every direction. Right. So we have, at the moment, we have RCS, we have the... So we have a way to get to the asteroid, we have our drills, we have our claw, we have our refinery, which is cooled but not heated, not powered. We do need we do need space for the rocks. We will go with a large holding tank, and I guess an adapter to actually change the scale to it. There's where we can use that. So that will hold up to 1,500 rocks. That should be... Do we want more than that? Can we go more than that? Do we have a bigger tank? We do. It's a weird format. That should be okay then. So we have space for a lot of rocks. I guess we could do those. How much do they hold? 75. Nah, that's fine. Now we need our engines. Is that the next bit? No, power. No, we'll do engines because we need to move this thing as well. So we're going to want the Nerva engine. Actually, there's 2 nuclear engines. By size. Right. We have the Cherenkov. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Cherenkov, and we have the Nerv. Okay, the Cherenkov is a little bit more efficient, uses liquid fuel. And it is quite a bit more powerful, so we'll probably use the Cherenkov. Just have 1. This is going to be a little bit more expensive than some of our previous rockets, so it doesn't look like it's going to be awful at the moment, actually. We will need liquid fuel tanks, so probably cryogenic tanks will be our best bet, so nice and light. Is there a way to put liquid fuel in these things, or liquid hydrogen? No, but they don't burn liquid hydrogen, do they? They're Fuel delivery overlay. Oh, where the fuel's coming from. Okay. Guess we can't use those. We need tanks that can take liquid fuel. Can we do that with these? Oh yeah, liquid fuel. Okay. So going for the more conventional tanks. Do we have a... Oh yeah, the jumbo. Of course you have the jumbo in orange. It's meant to be in orange. One moment. Yeah, quick pause on the recording there. We don't need hanger extender. We can turn that off. It turns out hanger extender is mapped to the same hotkey as one of my things. Who knew? Well, it was my my stop recording key. I did not know that until today. Right, they're going to be 5 horns. Save. Right. Do we have a parts limit? We do, but I think we're going to be okay on it. So, we actually get quite a lot more Delta V than I thought we might there. We get 5,000 with this setup. We'll be less with the rocks, but then again, we're not going to be holding the rocks. We'll be holding fuel. So, this should get us a good way. As long as we can launch it in space. However, we do need to add power. So now we need to find out how much extra electricity we think we're going to be burning at max. So, the drills, which are under utility, will require 7.5 charge a second. Convertitron will require 30 a second. So, what are we on? 180, I think. And the radiators might need some power as well. So 180. Oh, plus 2.3. Okay, yeah, nothing particularly drastic needed from the radiators, but we will need about 180 power generation. The biggest panels we have, I don't really think we have another great way to do it apart from maybe a fuel cell, which can eat liquid. Oh, it needs liquid fuel and oxidizer. Okay, well, we could refuel it potentially from the rock, but if we did 180, our Gigantos could do 24 each. So if we did... that would be 50, 100, 150, 200. Hey, that would work. Under ideal sunlight, of course this is, which I don't know whether we'll get that or not, but we should be reasonably good with where we are. And what we'll do is we'll put some extra panels on the rocket in general, some fixed panels as well as the arrays. That should ensure we get a fairly good supply of sunlight. We are losing a bit of Delta V, but nothing critical. Right. So that is our tool for moving asteroids. We'll also want to strut the top and bottom sections to make sure it's really solid. You have to get a... because the asteroids are so heavy, you need to have a nice solid rocket that won't flex, or it's going to, basically. Not ideally how I'd have connected that, but sure, we'll actually take those off because they're just not going to work where they are. It should be okay, we've got those. Oh, the other thing I might add actually is an extra reaction wheel. Make turning a bit easier. I guess we'll have that directly under the grabber. And then we should strut the grabber in place as well. Just to make absolutely sure. Oop. Yeah, come on, pick it up. Oh, I think it's inside the rocket. Come on. There it is. Strut right up onto that. Right, okay. So, just to double check, we have crew compartment, which will need an engineer to pilot. We have our grabber for grabbing the asteroid. We have our drills to fill up the ore tank. We have our refinery for refilling liquid fuel and monopropellant. We have our fuel tank. We have our big, scary nuclear engine. Oh. Does the Cherenkov generate a scary amount of heat? Mind you, the Cherenkov shouldn't be running at the same time as the rest of the stuff, and I think our heat jet rejection systems are excess anyway, so it should be okay. So, I don't believe we have a payload bay big enough to put this whole rocket in. A 2.5 meter one. No. So, we now need 4,000 to get this thing into orbit, and that might be a bit trickier because this is a lot bigger than what we've launched before, I believe. It's also, I think, a lot more expensive. Not as bad as I thought. I think they might have rebalanced some of the costs, maybe. I mean, I thought the nuclear engine costs a lot more than that. It is about a third of the cost of our rocket so far, I suppose. Right, we need a 2-meter decoupler. Right. So probably we're thinking large central core with a big powerful rocket on the bottom, maybe even a multiple, and then some strap-on boosters. Quadodon liquid methane engine is about 900 power, 1800. Okay, so if we take that off, is that enough to lift that? Just about. It's heavy, this rocket. Okay, that would work potentially if we get it a little bit off the ground first. So what we could do... Have we done a... I try to remember if we've done asparagus staging on this playthrough before, but we'll do a bit of asparagus staging. So what we can do... Going to sort of double up on what we've got so far. So we'll go another bore engine. We've got 3. Got 3 running at once. Let's. I think we need to put these on the higher part because we can't move it up too far. Then we need nose cones. And what we do, we have a fuel flow pipe that goes from there into there, I believe. Activate all 3 at once. Yes. So what will happen is all 3 engines will be running. These 2 will run out first because they're also running fuel into the central tank. Then they will decouple, and it will just be the central one with a full tank left to burn for the next stage. Now that gets us... Oh, what is that? Hang on. 2,000... 3,300 Delta V roughly. Which is pretty good. We could also try having a 3rd one of these. Yes, that'll do it. That'll be enough to get to orbit and have a little bit left over. Let's just line this up properly though. And we'll drop it down a little bit. Oh, the only thing is because of the sticky out bit on the bore, it looks weird. It's clipping through. Okay, 2 it is then. We'll add... We could maybe add some solids to give it a bit more boost. 3,300 is pretty good though. Considering we've got more than we planned on the top stage. 5,700. We'll probably be okay with that actually. Yeah, we'll probably be okay. We'll go for this. So, we'll strap this up carefully. To do the 3-point mount, we are going to add Separatrons as well, because these boosters are heavy. Ooh, that doesn't look quite right. Maybe actually make sure it is physically attached to the rocket. It's like, come on, engineers. Get on it. Right. That there. It's ignoring the fact the engineer is me. We won't need communication with ground control because we've got crew on board. We will move those in a little bit and adjust their angle. Right, and kick a little bit further away, I think. Right, so they will be on the... There. Right. We're looking fairly good. Oh, fins might be another thing to add at some point. By at some point I mean in a moment. 2 launch stabilizers. Might put an extra pair on the lower tanks actually, just to make sure they stay in place. Can we change the colours? No. I guess we can change these. Maybe just the plain white actually looks quite nice. Right. Then, what's the other bit we need? Wait, hang on. For one thing, that should be there. Okay, it's staged wrong. Okay. Right. Oh, we need to check the pilots. We need, yeah, a pilot and an engineer. That's fine. Jeb, you can do this one. So we'll have the... We'll get out there, run the mission. I think we're good. I think we've got everything. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Okay, I think I'm being paranoid about this. I think we are good to go. Oh, I might set up an action... No, wait, MechJeb will do it for us, won't it? So I might set up an action group to deploy all the panels, but I think MechJeb will do it for us. Right. Here we go. We will have to maybe consider which angle we go into the asteroid at to make sure we get sunlight, or at least we might have to twist the asteroid around. We do have lots of monopropellant, so we should be able to use some monopropellant to turn the asteroid. One trick when you're doing the asteroid docking is to make sure you aim for the center of mass. I think there's even an option to specifically do that. Because you need to make sure you hit the center to be able to torque it round properly. Or not torque it round, to get a nice straight line burn on the engines. If you're off the center, it can really cause problems with actually trying to get like a neat burn. It'll just sort of always try and torque to the side because of how heavy the asteroids are. Less of an issue with the smaller ones, but it's not so much less that we don't have to be a bit careful with it. So, gauge autopilot. There might be a bit of trying to remember how you do the asteroid encounter as well. Stop at stage 0. We have an engineer and we have a pilot. I believe we've got everything. Right, 3, 2, 1, lift off. Fins. Fins is what I hadn't done. I think we're okay. I probably should have strutted these two onto that because there's a tiny bit of wobble. Yeah, there's a little bit of flex up this rocket. It's not dreadful, but I was deliberately trying to avoid that. I think we'll be okay. But yeah, as you can see, these two are burning faster than the other one. So when they burn out, these tanks will still be full. Oh boy. This one's got me worried, not gonna lie. Alright, we're okay. That was the bit that worried me most. Was that detachment. And yeah, as I said, full fuel tanks. It's a little trick. I think it's something they'd like to do on real rockets, but can't really because of fuel flow. It's a lot more complicated in real life. That's why I go staging, but it works in Kerbal. How much monoprint do we actually have in total? 400. Okay. Quick saves. Seems to be good, okay. Yeah, this was one of the biggest engines in the games for a while, if I remember correctly, the twin bore. It was a little while. The mainsail used to be the big one, I think. And you if for bigger stages, you basically just had to stack more of them. Basically the only way to get around it. But we've since had larger engines and things. Larger engines, larger fuel tanks. There goes the solar panels. Oh, many of them. They're basically an industrial barge in space now. Let's turn it some more and get an angle on the sun. I think that's a better angle for them. Not that there should be any shortage of power. We won't be using anything like enough to drain our tanks just from turning. I will activate the radiators now. Ooh, that got hot quickly. Got remarkably hot quickly. Cool at 100%. Really? I hope these radiators are going to work. Or are they cooling off? What part of our rocket's got that hot already? I thought these had really quite high cooling. Was I wrong? Root temperature 3 Kelvin. We'll see. If it goes horribly wrong, I will do a full cut the bit out, replace the radiators with something bigger, come back to it, but it should be okay. It might just be that it's picked up heat in the atmosphere and it's just venting all that off. Or radiating all that off, I guess, but yeah, that is weird that they're getting that hot already. Even like flashing red. If they're that hot from ambient space, there's no way we're going to be able to run the gimbal limit down. If you see a rocket wiggling like that, turn the gimbal limit down on your rear engine. It seems to help. The trick I found. There it is. There's our Trankov running. Very efficient engine. You know, it's 15-minute burn time, almost 6,000 Delta V off one jumbo fuel tank. A very efficient way to get yourself around the space. Well, around space. Around the space. And yes, I love the space. We will arm... we'll leave the claw unarmed for now. Kerbal seem to be having fun. Supposedly we should have increased drill efficiency, so should be able to get a bit more out of the rock. I believe it is quite a big difference as well. Right. So we need to... well, our asteroid is W... that's the one. But yeah, I think, if I remember correctly, for how I used to encounter asteroids, our first step is leave the Kerbal system. Just nothing fancy, just leave it. Yeah, that should do it. Just get ourselves slightly out of the system. Maneuver planner. Considering the burns are quite long, I might skip some of these. Because again, it's probably going to be a longish episode anyway. We'll show the engine starting up and everything, but you probably don't need to be sat here for the whole burn. Especially since there'll be a few long burns as well. But I'll go over the actual process of how I'm getting to it, definitely. Tell you what, let's quick save. We'll see how much RCS it uses to turn. Might as well use a bit of it. We've got it. We're going to refill it once we get there. We don't want to use it all up before we do, but... might as well accelerate our turns a little bit with it. Again, I am surprised those radiators are getting so hot. Maybe I read the wrong number for their heating capacity, but... again, if we have any critical problems, I'll do some editing and we'll return when we're stuck to the same asteroid again with better radiators. I really hope we don't have to do that, but I can still revert if I do the flight in one go, so otherwise we'll have to accept that we're going to lose some... in fact, we're going to have a problem otherwise, because we are going to have a problem otherwise. I have just realised we don't have any way to get the Kerbals out. That's going to be interesting. Now, I believe they can, I believe we can use a clamp to dock to this rocket. So what we might have to do at some point is dock another vehicle to it to get our Kerbals out of it. I hadn't even thought of that. I'll be able to bring it back to Kerbin, but I've got to get him out again. Do we do the dreaded revert to launch and repair our mistakes, or do we... ah, you know what? It's more material for later on. We'll go with it. We'll keep going for now. Can recover them later. They're both the named Kerbals anyway, so if we lose them, they will come back regardless. Right, anyway, like I said, we shall skip the burn and we shall come back when we're ready to go for the next step. Alright, and we're back. The burn is nearly done. Actually, you don't scrap this. Alright, we're back. Burn is about done. We are out of the Kerbin system, or we will be in a minute anyway. So, we drift outside, and maybe also check if our radiators have finally cooled off. Again, I'm not sure why they're getting so hot. I thought they could handle it, but maybe I'm wrong on that. Oh, they have actually. They have cooled right down. Yeah, maybe it was from just all the excess heat from the atmosphere, and they've cooled off now. Right, anyway. We still have our asteroid targeted, I believe. WX... yeah, WYX 765. We now need to do a... I believe this is what I used to do to encounter it. I think it was a Haulin transfer. It should bring us into a... separation of 0 kilometers. Yes. Units node. Yeah, you can use Haulin transfers to encounter asteroids as well as planets. Now, we might have to fine-tune. I think I had to do a few fine-tunes before when I've done asteroid captures. I've done a few of these, but not many. I've only had one other ship design that could do it reliably, so... it could do it reliably. It did bring a few back, actually, but... not something I've done a huge amount of, so it's going to be a little bit experimental. We'll activate the claw now that we're out in space. Yep, so you can actually use those grapple into other crafts and form a connection with them through which you can transfer crew. So what we might have to do at some point is grapple onto the side of the command pod there and use that to pull the Kerbals out with some kind of automated rescue or recovery craft, I guess. We built this thing to work. We didn't build it for them to come back. Or, if they can get out the hatch, and I don't know where the hatch is on this craft, or this pod, if there even is one. If there is a hatch and they can get out of it, they can just get out. But I think this one actually doesn't have one, so I think for the moment they're sealed in there. Slight oversight, perhaps. The only thing is, I've just noticed that 4-year burn time, so... or wait time, so we're not going to stop, but what we're going to do, point us to node. And we're going to use that wonderful hyperwarp, and we're going to go. Yes, we've already skipped 2 years. That's why you don't let MechJeb take care of that one, given if you guys remember what happened with the moon landing, where it used it at the wrong time, wasn't quick enough to respond and crashed. You can imagine that being even worse with this. We'd have just smashed into the surface at full speed, probably. We'd probably have died even if we weren't coming in at a low enough speed to completely destroy the craft. Right. Save. Execute next node. Yet at the moment, we can recover the whole thing. So if it turns out the radiators are nowhere near powerful enough and it keeps shutting down or whatever, we can recover it. But at the moment, they are keeping things nice and cool. Temperature does seem to be fluctuating a little bit on those, though. But yeah, maybe I read something wrong, but I could have sworn they had plenty of power to cool with. I thought we were well beyond what we needed with those 4, but maybe I read something wrong. Maybe I put the wrong ones on. Maybe I meant to swap them out and didn't. Alright, and now we let it carefully burn away for the next 2 minutes. Again, I'll skip this and we'll let it do its thing. We see how close it actually gets us at the end of that. We're back past lunch break. I can't remember where I left off, but I'm pretty sure that we were doing the Hoffman transfer. The burn's nearly done, so I got to leave it to finish itself off. And let's see how close its borders. If it gets the maneuver absolutely perfect, we should be directly on top of the asteroid and we won't need to do much else. That looked really good, actually. Separation 159 kilometers. Okay. What we'll do... if we do a rendezvous autopilot, if I quick save quickly. If I do engage autopilot, what does it say it's going to do? Hang on. I'll wait until we're a bit closer. I'll deliberately move us a bit closer and then use it. It should still work. I think because we're quite... usually if you wait till you're a bit closer to the maneuver, it's less likely to go wrong. Sort of the less distance you have to travel, the less precise you need to be in considering how big space is. That can mean a lot. Start loads of power. No issues there at all, unsurprisingly. Got a good 4K Delta V left, so we should be good to go for at least shunting the asteroid some of the way there before we even have to mine it. So we might even manage it without mining it. But we do have to slow it down at the far end, which is going to be interesting. And that's where we might need a lot of fuel. Quick save there. Engage autopilot. It should... yeah, it's going to do a maneuver to just bring us a little bit closer. Right. Disengage autopilot. Point us to node, because if I so the timing's going to be wrong. Because by the time it's actually rotated to face that maneuver node, we're going to have missed it. However, you can cheat that out a bit by pointing it to node, removing the maneuver, then just re-adding a new maneuver, because it'll create one in exactly the same place, but you'll already be, or effectively exactly the same place, but you'll already be facing the right way. A little, I don't know if it counts as a pro tip, but a little tip. Also, maybe don't use your RCS, because your RCS can actually throw you off course a little bit. Reaction wheels won't do that. Unless you actually lose any mass anyway. In theory, you could maneuver around space by spinning around really quickly and then throwing bits of yourself off. I don't know if that'd be a way I'd recommend, but it is a way that would work to some extent. So if I now delete that and then do engage autopilot, here we go. And I said it created it in almost exactly the same place, and we're already facing the right way. The other option to use the rendezvous autopilot is to do fine-tune closest approach, and we may have to do that. I have had issues with this before. But it's looking pretty good at the moment, I've got to say. Okay, we're going to disengage. Put a maneuver node right when we're getting really near it. That's what we can do. If we move that one. If we do a maneuver node there. Doesn't have to have anything on it. And then we do warp helper. Maneuver node. It could take us really close to it. Hopefully this works. It does already seem to think we're going to be... Okay, 14 kilometers apart. It's not too bad. In fact, we could probably see it from where we are now. Abort. Engage autopilot. Close to target, plotting intercept. Yeah, it's going to point us towards it and give us a bit of a shunt. We can probably use RCS at this point. We're probably close enough that we'll be safe. Where is it relative to us? Maybe not close enough we can actually see it yet. Once it gets close enough, we should be able to actually see it. But, I guess we're not quite there yet. Okay, no, RCS is getting in the way now. Yeah, that's the only thing when you're trying to do fine-tuned maneuvers. Like I say, the RCS does have it putting just enough thrust in and it throws off your burn. I do think MechJab has a bit of a habit when you're doing this sort of thing of being a bit too precise. How long have we got until we reach it? A day. What's our current separation? Current separation 0. Really? You're being silly. Turn it off. You're being silly, MechJab. We're close enough that we're going to be within 0 meters of it. Maybe even hit it. I think I did have that on one of them. It actually fine-tuned it so close that I had to slow down quickly or risk smashing into it. Right, quick save. We're about 20 minutes off. Can we see it yet? No, but it's probably in that direction, roughly. How much power we're getting? 25. I think that's good, actually. I think that means they're running at full power. So, we may have cooling issues, but the power shouldn't be one of those issues. No, it's still doing silly micro maneuvers. Off. Quick save, just in case. Right. And carefully bring it closer. At 5 minutes, we'll stop and see if we can see it. Maybe a bit closer than that even. Right. Oh. Can we see it yet? No. Oh, yes we can. It's down there. Right. Are you really gonna... No, that's the wrong way. Right. Target. Okay, F. You know what? We'll risk it. We'll try it. Okay. Off. Alright. Rendezvous autopilot. Try and get this right. It might be that it's just, matching our orbit. There'll probably be a burn when it's quite close to, like, really even it out. Usually it tries to actually match your orbit exactly, so you're actually kind of in sync with it. Probably we're drifting closer to it, and it's just gradually adjusting its course as we get closer, but if we let it do that in real time, we'll be here forever. It's already a slow enough job as is. We'll almost certainly have to do a fine-tune burn when removing the actual main asteroid. Yeah, it is sort of fine-tuning. We are drifting closer. That's good. At least it seems to be mostly working. Yeah, I guess it's just going to keep fine-tuning it until we get close. Now, the slightly awkward thing with docking to an asteroid is there's no docking pilot, and as far as I'm aware, Mech does not have a dock with asteroid feature. So we'll have to do that part a bit manually. And what you basically do for that is, I believe there's a right-click option on the asteroid to do target center of mass. Line yourself up with it and try and drift into it, basically. Yeah, I think it is indeed going to pull the rendezvous off. Okay. Excellent. Yes, in the vastness of space that's so big you can't even comprehend it, we've managed to catch up with a little teeny rock. It's floating its way about the universe, or I say rock, might be a sort of a cluster of space dust. Asteroids can be made out of quite a lot of stuff, as it turns out. I think the one they actually docked with was like dust, basically, if I remember correctly. Right, we're close enough to it now that I'm... oh, target plus. I'm going to switch to normal. Right. Target center of mass. Okay, I think that's right. Which way's up? Okay. What's it? No, force. Oh, okay. Actually, yeah, force roll to 0. That'd be good. Okay. No, okay, don't do that. Do not force roll to 0. In fact, force roll so that I can 0 myself out and know which way my thrusters are working. So I should push me down. Okay, should push me up. Okay. We shouldn't be drifting away from target anyway. We should be drifting towards it. Quick save. Can we dock the autopilot? Does that work? If we do control from this. Do a autopilot enable. Does that work? Nope, nope, do not. Okay, no, that does not work. Oh, now one of these, like, relative velocity, I think we can use to... accelerate towards it a little bit faster. We do need to hit it with a little bit of speed, but we want to not smash our rocket, obviously. Given all the time we spent to get it out here, that would not be a great end to the episode. It's already going to be a long one. I'd rather this actually worked, ideally. Let's get us closer. We'll go out to 1 meter a second. That should be safe. Should have plenty of time to respond anyway. The keys for actually maneuvering with RCS, if anyone's wondering, for strafing is IJKL, like WASD, and then H will bring you forwards, and N will push you backwards relative to whatever it is you're pointing at. So basically what I'm doing is looking for when we're drifting a bit off center. Try to keep us pointed at it. What I'll do, I'll try and get as close and stopped, and then I'll try and ram us into it, basically, to grab it. The claw, I believe, is armed. Yep. Lights on as well. Approaching the space walnut. Looks like it's nice and round, which is good. We do want to, again, we do want to be as lined up with the center of mass as we can be. Because otherwise, we're going to have some slight problems with trying to actually push it anywhere. The other thing we should do is check the weight, because we can see that. So our vessel weight at the moment is 48 tons. So because we know that, we can then, or we know that, then we can, once we bumped into the asteroid, we'll be able to see how much the weight increases and know how heavy this thing is. We might actually be on track to dock with this thing reasonably okay. It's not very big though. Drills are definitely potentially a bit on the large side. No, wrong way. Quick save. So you do a little bit of speed when you bump into these, so we'll maybe leave it at current drift speed. It should be pointed at the target and hope it docks up okay. I can't remember what you used to do to get MakeJed to point at the center of mass. Or whether it was something you had to do on the default SAS, but I'm not sure. Whether that's something the pilot has to do? Anyway, right, here we go. Hey, we are in place. Oh, that was something I meant to do. I meant to add... I know what I was going to do. I was going to add struts to it so we could strut the asteroid to the craft once we were docked. I knew there was something. Okay, it's fine. We are docked. We are connected. We have gone up to 50... Oh, wow, it's only a 7-ton asteroid. It doesn't weigh much at all. We might even get back without mining it. Which might be good, given our slight worries about the drill, shall we say. Either way, we can at least test it, so we know if we need to modify this craft for future missions. Because this should be able to push any rock to some extent. It would struggle with larger ones because of the weight, but... Alright, so now that we're docked at least, let's do our first mining test. Start asteroid harvester. It is heating up, which is actually good in some ways. It is increasing efficiency. Or it's going up fairly quickly. Thermal efficiency 100. Oh. Would you look at that? It is okay. Huh. I'll check that they're both okay, but... Maybe I was worrying for nothing. Maybe those radiators are good and they've just been weird early on. Yeah, either way, both seem to be revving up to full power. The vessel will start to lose some mass once we start to refine it. Because the refiner is not 100% efficient. The asteroid will have a limit to how much we can drill. I don't believe we can completely destroy it. Oh, we need a name for it. Boulder friend. Here's our friend. Right. So we'll do a little bit of time warping to hollow out the rock best we can. Also just to make sure we don't accidentally munch the whole thing. It's what I said about you don't necessarily get a full reload off the smallest asteroids. Okay. There's no more rock left in that asteroid. We have put the whole thing in this tank. Okay, so we don't get a huge amount out of it. We'll leave the drills inside the asteroid. They'll probably help keep us pointing straight, if anything. Boulder front, you can wait there. No, not the pit. We need the refinery. There we go, convertitron. Right. So we probably don't need any liquid fuel, any monopropellant at the moment. Actually, we'll start the processor for liquid fuel. It's quicker than it used to be. I could have sworn it used to be that fast. Oh, maybe it's because we've got an engineer on board. Maybe that's helping. Oh, the radiator's getting hot. They're heating up a lot now. Okay. So the drills are okay, but maybe not them. Accelerate time a little bit. Or not. Oh, no. Okay. Oh. It's cooling down now. Go figure. But yeah, so we have mined up the asteroid. We did not get much delta V out of it. You can stop now. Left to refine. We didn't get much delta V out of it, but we did get about 300 because we also took some of the weight out of the asteroid. Right. What we do now, it's quite simple, and I might skip the weight once we're... I might even skip the burn entirely, but we're set Kerbal as target. And we home and transfer. And this is where we find out if we've got our thing pointed in the wrong part of the asteroid. Oh wow, it only needs like 200. And we could swing that asteroid around like it's nothing. The whole thing was lighter than our entire craft. That is not usually the case. I should mention the big asteroids could go from like 50 tons to like hundreds to I think thousands for the biggest. The biggest ones are seriously huge and will take a fair bit of dedicated effort and a pretty powerful booster that will also need to be really solid so it doesn't flex to actually push them around. Oh. Yeah, you should probably be allowed to auto warp given this is going to be a very long trip if you're not. Radiator's gradually cooling off. Yes, they did have enough power to run everything. They've been a bit weird about it, but they did. I guess the heat gauge is not so much overheating and blowing up for them as it is I'm running at maximum. Oh. Bot node execution. We get a quick save. I just realised there is 7 years until that burn. It is hyperwarp time, my dudes. On the plus side, any of our science equipment left on the moon or whatever is going to be done by now. Like, completely. Kerbal's timescale is weird. Right. Let's keep next node. Let's get this done, get back to Kerbin. Finish up the episode. It's been a bit janky, but hopefully you've all enjoyed doing something again a little bit different. Getting a lot of different things done with this playthrough. Lots of different new things to try. Recovering rocks, going new places, setting up stations. Base stations, the space hotel. We are still trying to achieve our end goal. I don't think I've said this episode, but our actual end goal for the series is to send a big colony ship out to Eeloo and construct a surface colony out there. So we're doing various missions to gain the science we need for it and also to gain the budget. We're going to try and go quite sci-fi. We'll try and have something like a fusion drive or something to get us out there. We do have some mods that add that sort of thing. Though we might potentially send probes out on more standard technology in the meantime. Map the place ahead of time. Try and find somewhere we can refuel that at the ground. Yeah, the maneuver seems to be going okay. As I said, they take... I'm amazed how little fuel that took. Like 230 delta V to bring an asteroid back or whatever it was. It's like, that's really not much. I thought we were going to be needing a lot more than that, but again, I also thought, even for a Class A asteroid, it might be bigger than that. This is really not a very big fella, and it's being very cooperative. We're having no problem at all pushing it. Don't even think the monopropellant thrusters are firing. I think we did end up lined up perfectly on it. Right, are we actually encountering? We are not. We will need to do a fine-tune burn. Fine-tune closest to target. Yep, turning around. We're getting lighter and lighter as well, so burning more monopropellant. Yeah, you can see our delta V is actually creeping up. Yeah, so it's nice being able to... Now this refueling thing, this is something we can do on other planets. You will probably want to resource scan the surface first, because the difference of how long it takes between a spot where there's a good amount of ore and a spot where there isn't is enormous. But you can use it to refuel off-world. You could use it for you could build, for example, an orbital, or not orbital, a land like fuel refinery where you can like land other craft near it and just refuel out there, kind of thing. Or use it for things like fuel cells. They become quite a viable light alternative on planets when you can return to a base station and refuel every now and then. You provide quite a lot of power compared to even solar panels, but they're less likely to break and they're smaller and lighter, technically. The amount of power they generate anyway. Right. Let's go. But yeah, no, this worked perfectly, especially considering I didn't think it was going to. EVA report. Yeah, I guess we can get a science report near an asteroid, right? I think. Yeah, I think that is a thing we could do, actually. Yeah, we should check if we can get them out. No. Module has no hatch. Okay, so that is the one thing we are going to have to sort. Once we've got it into orbit around Kerbin, we'll consider sending up a recovery mission to get them back. Even if we're effectively going to have to soar into the cabin like a can opener. But we will want to get them back. They will be presumably fairly experienced at this point by the time we get them back to Kerbin, so... And we can take... what we'll probably do next mission, or next episode, we'll send up a science probe to the asteroid and dock it with it and recover the others as well. Right. What is our periaps at the moment? Periaps 137. That's fine. Circularize at the next periaps, and then we'll maybe... Yeah, that should be fine. We should be able to launch that to a rendezvous, not without too much difficulty. Yes, what is our actual thing? Put it in orbit around Kerbin for 10 seconds. Okay. But everything else we've achieved. What are they paying us for this mission? We spent about 200,000 on the rocket. I can't actually remember what the actual mission payout was. $500,000-ish? We'll have a look. I think we're probably not going to make a huge amount of money, but we can... Again, you can do extra science experiments on the asteroid. So we basically just bought a new science biome into orbit around Kerbin. That has pretty good payouts, I believe. For science. Alright, should be burning in 3, 2, 1. There we go. Right, I'll tell you what. We'll call the episode there. Unless something somehow goes wrong and this fails to put itself into orbit, which I cannot envision happening at this point. As I always say in these videos, I am games dev as well as a someone who plays them. Oh, contract deadline expired? Oh. Well. Apparently our contract failed. Oh well. We did it anyway. First station around the sun. Oh shoot, yeah, because it's an asteroid. But yeah, I make games as well as I'll read that in the property in a sec. We make games as well as playing them. So if you want to support the channel as well as all the normal like, comment, subscribe stuff, take a look at the games in the comments that I've linked. They're both ones I've made. You might like them. Now, the last thing we'll finish up quickly with is, I think it's the seismic sensor. They've saying they've transmitted back, yeah, 320 and 400. Wow. Okay, cool. So our bases are paid out. Right. We'll take a look at that next time, and I will see you all again next time. Bye-bye for now. Alright. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Kerbal Space Program for another episode. Do you remember at the end of the last episode I said I couldn't see anything going wrong? It actually nearly did, and I almost missed it. It was almost too late. It did bring us back into orbit, but something clearly went wrong with the burn, and it left us on a suborbital trajectory. I had to very quickly just manually kick it up to 80, so we didn't re-enter. I don't really know why that happened, but anyway, we're going to reduce it to a nice, neat 80 kilometer orbit, and maybe even just the inclination to 0. Just neaten things up a little bit, basically, and then we'll go back to the Space Center. It's a bit more of a direct continuation, and see how we've been doing in the meantime. We should have gained some more science. We actually technically did fail the asteroid contract that we did last time. Not because we actually failed it, just because it took too long, and frankly I have no idea how we were supposed to do that in a shorter time. I guess maybe you're supposed to do the flight on a fly past and then slow it down, but I have absolutely no idea how one does that. I think that's something you have to do manually and can't do with MechJeb. My word, it sounds fiddly to try and make an encounter node like that. Especially in the time frame of stopping it leaving Kerbin. So I'm not going to bother. I guess we won't take asteroid contracts in future that are that sort anyway. Just to make sure we don't get any failures again. But either way, we've still managed to bring one into orbit. And again, I think our mission for today will be to bring some science equipment up to it. And also like to recover the crew. Because as we mentioned last time, I realised, oh, crew can't get out. They're stuck in there. In the asteroid recovery craft. And it is Jeb and Bob. We want to bring them back. So we'll set up a sort of unmanned recovery probe that will have some science equipment on it. What you can do is claw into the side of the craft and then use that to crew transfer. So you might have to stab it slightly, but that's fine. It's not going to be moving the asteroid again for a little while, I don't think, once this maneuvering is done. We could also try and land an asteroid at some point. Okay, well, we'll leave it there, actually, because its maneuvering is being a little bit iffy. So, smart ass, point it, prograde. We'll leave it there. We'll leave it there to orbit. We'll turn the RCS off as well. And yeah, we'll go back and design a little recovery craft for everyone. Shouldn't be too much. We can maybe use an Ariad with a little extra docking module on the top. RCS off. Space Center. But let's see how we're doing. Let's see how we're looking for... what do you call it? Science things. Because again, because it took so long, our experiment stations finished all their experiments and have paid out in science. So there is, silver lining. We can also see if that hotel contract is stuck around, even though it was supposed to expire after a while. It might indeed still be up. Or that might indeed just be how long it takes to expire once you take it. It's not up, but there's a smaller one that's equivalent. Okay, so yeah, they don't go. They do come back. Blueberries from Kerbin. Right, explore Duna. Now that I don't believe ever expires. I don't think these ones. Enter the atmosphere of Duna. We could send a surface lander. A little probe that will land on the surface. We'll leave that one for now, because that won't expire by the time we're done. We will have a quick check in R&D. Lots of things we could take. Could take ion engines. Could take even more solar panels. Electrics gives us a handful of bits and pieces. Let's see, batteries. We could have the bigger command pods that we were saying about last time. Fuel tanks we could have. They would be useful. Okay, we'll get some structural components from these, including larger aero shells, which could potentially be good, actually. Composites first. Maybe we take composites and the sort of structural parts. Give us a few more options for those. Yeah, okay. Get some more structural parts and some... We do get a larger aero shell already. How big is that one? 3.7 meter. Excellent. So we would have been able to encase the asteroid miner, for example, the rock hound. But that's not what we're doing for now. For now, we're building a little combination science probe recovery chair, basically. Or pod, anyway. So, I think we're going to need... We'll maybe load up the craft with the Nereid on it already, with our sort of auto landing system. Which would that be? The Moon of 5? No, that must be before then, because it doesn't have the auto lander. Oh, the fusion, right? Oh, first part of it. This is our docking tester from a while back. This might do it if we've got one. Aha, that's got the auto lander on it. Cool, so proven system, we know this works. We'll use this. This will be the R013 recovery. I know, rock scanner. So we're also going to scan the asteroid. Right. We will have to slightly modify this craft immediately because that parachute's in the way. Because we need to put a drill on top of it. So we're going to go... One radio mounted parachute should be fine. Put that there. Ah, it looks bad. Hang on. Is there another way we could mount the claw? Can we put a docking port on top of a claw? Or a part on top of the claw? No. Okay, it's going to have to be at the top. Yeah, we'll do one of those there. Clap it in a bit at least. That'll help a little bit. Doesn't look great, but hey ho. Oh, that's not too bad. Right. Then we'll have... There are some parachutes that can stack parts on top of them, but I don't know if we've got the mods to add them. Maybe I should try and track down which one that is. But anyway, we need a decoupler. Because we're not going to want to try and come down with that node attached. Actually, yeah, a separator might be good here. Not going to need any of the pieces, and we'll make sure they burn up. Where is the... Nope, that's not the one. Is it that? It is that. Okay, cool. And we will strut it in place, because just to make sure it's a nice solid connection. The three-way symmetry makes more sense, though, for this. Right. So... We have our emergency landing system. Well, not emergency. We have our retro rockets. We have our claw for connecting. We will want a bit of docking, a bit of RCS fuel to dock with it. That should, will double up actually. We want RCS because we're going to be able to maneuver around near it. Okay. We will need an engine, and I'm just now wondering if it's worth getting a monopropellant engine specifically and just having one type of fuel. That might be better, actually. Yeah, I was going to say, those are monopropellant powered, aren't they? Tell you what, rather than these little tanks, we'll have one larger tank just filled with monopropellant, which I believe we can do. No? Okay, no, we can't. Fill these with monopropellant, right? Monopropellant, there we go. They're not really connected by anything, but... is there a better way to do that? Or could the cryogenic fuel tanks just hold monopropellant? No, okay. These look really nice, but they're really awkward to stack. Oh, mind you, we can do a little bit of clipping. It's a bit cheaty, but... yeah. So we're doing this for the aesthetic, not for the stats. It still doesn't look good. Nope. 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 I want it to look nice. Yeah, it might even look better just having a larger diameter tank. I'll just have more of the small ones. Oh. It's not the best way to do this. It'd be a bit flexible, but it's fine. By the time we've added in the thing on there, that should be fine. Right, puff monopropellant engine. Oh my god, they're big. Big engines. Okay. That will jet us around a bit near the asteroid. We'll make sure we've got enough fuel to get ourselves to it without too much difficulty. Probably only need one reasonably efficient little engine to get us up there, right? Don't imagine we'll need much. Not very heavy. Yeah, that'll get us some of the way, and then have a slightly larger stage down here, and that should finish it off. Boar. No, that's the wrong size. Cheetah? That's still not powerful enough on. We need the Ocelot. Or Bobcat even. which is just about powerful enough, but actually we need a bit more kick than that. Yeah, we'll have a Harrier and we'll fill it with liquid methane. Which is LCH40. Yeah. Okay, 4,800. Oh, we need the science equipment as well. We may even have to increase the size of some of these parts because yeah, what I might do is do a restack quickly. There we go. Yeah, you may have to increase some stages because we're going to add a bit of weight with this. Right, we now need the mystery goo. Maybe not directly in the way of the LCS thruster. Thermometer, barometer, gravioli detector, seismometer. I think actually works because it's an asteroid. We'll undock it from the dock it to the asteroid, then undock it, and then dock it to the craft we're rescuing the others out of. Magnometer boom over here. Right. How are we looking for Delta V? It's still reasonably good, actually. Yeah, my only thought is if we need to, just to wait, not high enough all of a sudden? Okay. Weird, alright. Eagle? No, not quite powerful enough. I thought that was the reasonably powerful one. Okay, so the Harry's not quite powerful enough for that. Oh, Deinonychus. That's the beefy boy. Oh, still not quite enough. Hang on, we'll go back to regular liquid fuel. One sec. Right. Kodak, not enough. Four. We adjust the mount size to be correct. Yeah, that'll do it. Okay. And we'll maybe, like I say, just add a couple of little small strap-on boosters. We'll put them on these so they're actually just further out. Don't need to worry about Separatrons. They should be okay. They just detach. Oh, right, yeah, the fuel tank they're attached to is upside down, so it's messing with them. Right. It's a bit skeletal looking, but it's an interesting look, I suppose. Right. And then we'll go, tell you what, we'll just do a 2-point mount on these, because we can do a little bit of a more unusual thing. Yeah, that should hold in place reasonably well, I think. Do 4 fins. Flip them the right way up. And also add our launch stabilizers, which are there. Stability enhancers, right. So, we'll just check this quickly. So we have our science equipment up there. Oh, right. Power, Doug. We don't want it to run out of power midway. And throw some little batteries in as well. They're not very powerful, but there's a bunch of them. Right. So, first stage, separate. Next stage, separate. Last stage. Right. A lot of little stages for this rocket, actually. More than I would normally have, but should be fine. Right. This is going to be not great aerodynamics, but we'll just have to make do. We shall launch to rendezvous. And hopefully get it fairly correct on the first go, because if we have to fine-tune it, it's going to be a little tight. Your fuel budget. Should be doable, but a bit tight. Oh. No, we're not ready to go yet. I just completely realised, it's like, Doug, this has to launch unmanned, because we're trying to recover crew of it, so we have to also add a probe core and a antenna. I knew there was something. Hopefully we can actually transfer crew through all the shenanigans we've got set up on this thing. Oh god, are we going to be able to do that with the claw in the way? We're going to have the claw... We might just have to have the claw solidly attached, because I'm not sure about crew transfer through decouplers. So we'll do that. Claw's not going to come off now. The parachute will have to be enough. we have got the retro rockets, so they'll help. And it might even burn up. Might even burn up in the atmosphere, and that's fine. Or this bit might burn up, and that saves us the weight. Probe core. Shall mount that underneath the claw. That's fine. And then we need an antenna. Should be operating well within the reach of the transmit network, so that should be enough, I think. What's the range on that? 150 million. Yeah, that should be fine. We're not going to exit that range, so that should be enough to transmit between them. Oh, and then I need to go to the thing and actually take the crew out. We'll get there. We'll get there. Oh, loading screen. Why? Tell you what, I'll cut this out of the recording and catch up with you guys in a moment. Alright, we're back. We are ready to go in theory. We have cleared out the crew. We told them you can't go with us for this. We've got to keep it clear until we do our recovery missions. So, Rockhound is our target. Orbital inclination is going to be weird. Might even be negative. Yep. Not that even. Launch the rendezvous. And its orbital altitude is somewhere between 81, 84 and 75. I guess we launch to 82. We'll go for that roughly. Anyway. What's the rendezvous? I guess it's going to try and catch up a bit about here-ish. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off. Oh boy, here we go. Stage 1, please. Kind of quick save, we're about to crash. I don't think it's that bad yet, guys. Come on. Oh, we're going to wobble. That gimbal a little bit. I should have strutted the top of the rocket. Yeah, it's the problem of having all those little bits. They all introduce joints that can flex. Ideally, we just have a single large monopropellant tank, but seeing as don't seem to have an option for that at the moment in that form factor. Okay. Boom. Right. We ascend. Probably need all 3 stages to hit orbit. I probably could have simplified this and taken a stage or 2 out, but oh well. See how it goes. Okay, well the aerodynamics don't seem to be hurting us too badly anyway, which is good considering we've got that on the front. Pretty much flat. Or at the very least lumpy. Right, how are we looking for a rendezvous? Not too bad. I don't think we're going to manage it. First try, especially since it seems to be launching to the wrong inclination. I thought it would try and circularize to match. No? Okay. Oh, that's fine. We are going to have to burn some extra fuel to rendezvous. I hope we can make it. Don't know quite how much we're going to need, but we'll try it. See how it goes. We may have to reconfigure some stuff. This is the 3rd episode I've recorded today, so Space Brain is starting to wear a bit thin. Space Brain is being replaced by Smooth Brain. Right. To the auto stage. Stage 1. Check. We're probably going to need all 3 of them. Well, we're definitely going to need all stages. Yeah, it should start burning at 21 seconds. Is it going to time warp at all? Is it not going to bother? Yeah, it might not bother because it's quite close now. Coasting to burn. Oh. No, maybe it won't. Maybe I'll be completely wrong on that guess and it'll do it now. Whoa, 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 whoa. Like I say, if it starts to wobble, turn the gimbal limit down or it starts snaking. Yeah, there goes the station. Whee! Yeah, we're at totally the wrong inclination because it didn't match it for some reason. So yeah, we might match it for speed, but we're at the wrong angle. Or velocity, I suppose, not speed, but anyway. Whatever, you get the idea. Yeah, that's fine. Save the fuel, we're going to need it to adjust. Right. Now we do the extra rendezvous autopilot, which is going to be doing a bit of work, I think. At least we're orbiting the right direction. Matching planes, yeah. That's going to be expensive on the fuel supplies. I think we might be okay, though, because it shouldn't need much to... Actually, that gets us quite close. It might even be able to just do a rendezvous once we get to that point. I suppose our orbital speed should be similar. Yeah, once we've matched planes, it actually might just do burn to target. We might be close. This might actually work. Let's find out in a minute. Electric charge is running down, but we're not using a huge amount. And it refills the moment we get sunshine. Okay, burn should be starting any moment. There it is. Can we see the station? Not at the moment. I guess it would be coming in from up there. Aha! There it is. Yeah, it might even do a close to target. That's how we've matched, I think, because we did sort of rendezvous with it, and our orbital height was about the same. It's taken us about the same amount of time to orbit. So we've actually sort of caught back up with it, coming around the other way. I think that might actually be the first time I've ever used these engines. They seem to be working okay. To arm that. So a little bit careful because the same fuel we'll be using to dock is the same fuel we're using here. So if we lose one, we can't do the other. And we need at least one of those because we need to be able to deorbit. Although I suppose we can technically leach fuel out of the Rockhound if we need it. Actually, that's the other thing. If we needed to, the Rockhound could actually come to this. I've just remembered because, of course, the asteroid's up there, but that doesn't mean it can't detach from it and do something else kind of thing. So yeah, it could potentially fly off on its own. It's got loads of fuel left, and it'll have a little bit extra by the time it decouples from the rock. Shed a few tons. I think there's probably a couple of tons left of asteroid. I think you can mine a good percentage of it, but it's not all of it. There's probably like a ton or two of asteroid left still. Yeah, it's doing what it did last time. Drifting closer and gradually adjusting as we get nearer to it. Little mini maneuvers. Yeah, and then it's going to do a larger one when it gets close to it to match speed. Or match orbits. So it sure looks like it's getting further away, but optical illusion, I guess, because it's definitely getting closer. Oh, don't crash us into it. Right. Disengage autopilot, it's fine. Target. Oh, of course, that's trying to rotate to point prograde. Rotating it so it's thrusting in the direction I think it is. Okay. We need to get a bit closer now. So we're going to have to reach it, and then we're going to have to well, we'll try seeing if we can transfer crew through the asteroid. If we can, that makes things way easier, because we just dock with the asteroid, and I think here is actually where we can do target center of mass. Yeah. Oh no, center of mass is not going to be that necessarily. It's going to be the whole thing. Right, it's fine. We've got good thruster weight in this thing. We can up and down are kind of inverted, which is throwing me off a bit, but I don't know why they're inverted, but short bursts. Again, it's spinning a bit because it's trying to keep itself pointed prograde. Hey. Well, we are now docked. I think that's worthy of a quick save. Excellent. So, first things first. Can I now... transfer crew. Oh, excellent. We can just transfer them straight through the rock. I don't know how that works, but we can do it. Right. Right. Control from here. And I think we'd have a camera to focus on this part as well. In camera. Okay, there we go. Right, hang on. SAS. Off, just kill rotation. Don't worry about trying to point in a certain direction, just kill the rotation. Right. Science. Actually, can we run science equipment on the asteroid? Is that a thing? Oh. Perhaps not. I thought we could run specific science experiments when you're near an asteroid or docked one, but maybe not. Or maybe because we're in Kerbin's sphere of influence, it's getting in the way. Well, that's a shame. I thought we could use these. Oh, well, we can get a tiny bit of science out of it. Cosmic data? No, can't use that at all. Temperature. Maybe because we can't as a space station, I guess, at this point. Anyway. Oh, well. Doesn't matter. Like I say, our main other feature of this mission was not even the asteroid, it was rescuing the crew. Right. Release. It says arm, but it appears to have disarmed it. Anyway, that's fine. That's what I wanted to do anyway. Right. I think I need to activate you. Yeah, active. Descent past 700 meters. Oh, yeah. Fire the retro rockets, but went on the parachute. Okay. Set the parachute to go off at 600 and... at the same height, right? Yeah, okay. I think if we activate it, it should be, like, sort of toggled ready to go. Deploy mode when safe. Immediate when safe. Okay, it's armed. Right. We're not going to hit the rock hound. Let's go. Bye, fellas. We'll be back later. Well, maybe not. I don't know. But either way, we've got an asteroid in orbit now, so that's fun. Ooh. Okay. But if that starts to burn through that once this tank's empty, we need to cut the throttle immediately, because we need that last bit of throttle for... Oh, yeah. No, cut that. We do not want to burn up that. That's our retro fuel. Right. You're not supposed to activate that. Hang on. F9. We'll be a bit careful with that this time. Hang on. Yeah, because we don't want to burn that yet. We don't want to activate those engines yet, because that's what the retro is supposed to do. We need to throttle it up to max and then not have it active so that that will work properly. Right. Retrograde. Right. Utilities. Auto stage. off. Good, great. Sometimes I want it on, today I do not. I should tell you what we can do. We can do that, because the moment it burns up, it's no longer connected. But it's still pushing us back, technically. It's still slowing us down. Here we go. Not necessarily probably something I'd recommend doing a lot, but just very carefully push ourselves out the way of that. So I don't want to use too much of it. Right, but hopefully the recovery mission works out. This will be maybe a shorter episode, but that's fine. Actually, wait, no, we did stuff with the other thing. Either way, if this is a shorter episode, that's fine. We've had some long ones, so I don't mind this one being a little quicker. Don't know what our next mission will be, but we'll decide on that at some point. Again, I thought we'd have more science back from this mission, but not so much. I guess we could send probes out to other places, perhaps, and we can land a surface probe. I think there was a Duna mission to enter the atmosphere, so we can maybe land like an atmospheric little lander. Maybe even a rover. Although we don't have any rover tech, so maybe not. How much science do we have? If we can get rover wheels, maybe we could do a little rover, but it might otherwise just be a little static surface sort of sampler lander thing. Alright, how spicy are we going to get? And are we going to have problems with that claw on top? The Nereida survived a lot, but making it even heavier. Where's our vessel info at the moment? We have 3 tons. Okay, so it's not that heavy, however much it is it weighs. Although this is a rocket known for, again, a pod known for cutting it close, so see how this goes. No, this is not the time for an EVA report. Come on. So you send the sonic booms outside, the sonic shock or whatever. I don't think what you call it, but shock cones, I think it is. You've seen the shock cones on the side of the pod outside. This is not the time to get out. And the air is doing that. Right. Parachute is out. Oh, throttle needs to be at max. Otherwise this won't work. Quick save just in case. We potentially jettison the heat shield if we're still quite fast once we've... because of the extra weight from that. Oh boy, here we go. Yeah, jump cut. It's a busy day today at home, so lots going on. Right. About to hit retro rockets time in 3, 2, 1. Hey. We are going to jettison that because we're still falling a bit fast. Falling past about 10 meters a second is worrying, so we're going to ditch that. Don't think we can do anything else with this now, particularly. No. So I can change the angle, but not going to do that. Right. Oh boy. Right. Anything going to break? No, we're okay. And we're not sinking either, which is the other bit. Crew report. Why not? And recover the vessel. Well, that wasn't too bad in the end. Retro rockets still work, even on a slightly modified craft. I definitely do like that. I'm tempted to try and get that command pod at some point just to just to do that on a larger rocket. It's so cool to look at. I think there's 4 nozzle engines for that pod. So I think it's still 3 of them. Double the power on the retro rockets. Alright, let's see if we get anything else. I think we just get a tiny bit of science and we get the crew back. 4 science. Bit of funds. Oh! Oh, of course, yes, I forgot. They've been out doing things and have been out mining, so I think Bill especially is going to extra XP. Yep, so that was definitely worth it. Let's have a quick look. A few little bits before we finish up, since we're, again, I think we're a bit early. No, I want the astronaut complex. That's there. What does level 3 give you? Air wheels, resource better efficiency, drill efficiency. Doesn't say anything particularly different, so I'm guessing it's the same things. He's just even better at them. R&D, we could buy some small stuff like aerodynamics, which give us some big wings and things for fins. Is any of that useful? For rockets, really? I do like the planes. I just never found much of a good reason to use them in campaign. I guess we could take that and get the tail fin. It's quite a nice fin for rockets sometimes. That's yeah, that doesn't give us anything that we can't quite afford. There's these. They don't give us anything on their own, but they do lead to 2 things that do. Logistics is, yeah, sort of nice lightweight storage modules. Should do hold quite a lot. Hydroponics could potentially be good because they're both science experiments. And yeah, they lead on to things that don't give us much anything on their own. I guess maybe we'll take one of those. Yeah, we'll take one of those, even though it doesn't give us anything, but will allow us to take something that does. And we'll check the contract mission control. This could maybe help us pick what we want to do next time. We've got the Duna one. Temperature study of Kerbin, repair satellite. We've got a bunch of tourists up to there. Which will be a good way to get some money. And 2 tourists to visit an asteroid. So we could do that. That would make use of our asteroid. That's a lot of money for a small mission. In fact, the exact same craft could run that mission. Technically. So potentially we'll do that, but we'll decide properly next time. As I always say in these videos, I make games as well as playing them, so if you want to support the channel, absolute best way, take a look in the description for the video. There'll be a link to them, maybe go have a look, you might like them. And yeah, until next time, I will see you guys all later.